Hi everyone and welcome to Paisa Vasool. As always, I'm your host Raju. Got Taryn here with us.
Hello.
We're joined by a special guest today. He's well known to everyone who listens or watches our cognitive recalibration podcast. Bhaskar.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me on. This is going to be quite a classic.
As you would have seen in the title, we're reviewing two movies today. And the reason we thought we'd review this, we always want to review Okkadu at some stage.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking for a sort of a good opportunity to do that. But it turns out that the Tamil remake of Okkadu, Ghilli, just had its 20th anniversary re-release. So we'd never seen Ghilli, actually. So we watched Ghilli more recently, and then we also watched Okkadu again. So we're going to be, I guess we'll start with Okkadu, the first one that came out, the original, and then we can give our thoughts on Ghilli after that.
Nice.
So Okkadu was the seventh film of Mahesh Babu. So before this, I guess he didn't really have a big blockbuster. It was probably his first big blockbuster. The notable films before this, I guess, was his first film Rajamouli, which was a hit, and Murari, which also did reasonably well. But this was his first.
What about Takkari Donga?
Takkari Tonga.
That was not a successful film.
I don't remember that movie.
It wasn't a breakout film. It was a breakup film.
Breakup film.
But
Bipasha Basu breakup, yeah. Bipasha Basu's in that movie.
She is, yes. I remember now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't a successful film. Murari was successful, but a lot of the credit went to the director and I guess Sharma as well, because that was a musical hit. And the couple of movies he had before this, they were not successful. So I think he did like Vamsi, and he did a bunch of movies that people have forgotten. But he was really looking for something big. And he was approached by Gunasekhar, who's the director of this film. He was also not on a good streak. So I guess before this movie, he was well known for the Chiranjeevi film Tonal and Undi.
Oh, yeah.
That was his one of his first Gunashekar's one of his first films. But then he had a bit of a unsuccessful streak again after that. And the producer for this film was MS Raju, who had a very successful streak after this, actually. So after this, he made Varsham, and then Vastanatana Odantana, and then he did Paurnami, I think. So he had a bit of a streak where he would release, and he was known as the producer that would release a film every Sankranthi. So this Okkadu was 2003 Sankranthi release.
Sankranthi, wow.
And it turned out to be the biggest hit for that Sankranthi. There was an NTR film, Naga, which released alongside this one. That one didn't do as well as this. Interestingly, I thought this would easily be the biggest hit of 2003.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in the top two. So
of like Telugu box office?
Of Telugu box office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the second biggest hit was Simhandri. So NTR had another release that year. That did slightly better than this one, but the biggest hit, it was the season of, it was that era where Chiranjeevi was, the biggest star. Tagore was the biggest hit of 2003. Yeah.
Tangu Teguddi. That's the one I'm thinking of? Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. So that was the biggest hit that year, but this was the biggest hit at that point in time for Mahesh Babu in terms of the box office. But yeah, the cast and crew, it's kind of the people that you'd expect to see in a Mahesh Babu movie, especially after this. So Mahesh Sharma, again, was the music director. I forgot to look up how many of Mahesh Babu has done about 28 films now. I'm pretty sure.
It was up till Kaleja, I'm pretty sure. It was every movie. Yeah.
There was a couple in between where it wasn't him. I think Haris Jayaraj did Sainikru, and he did, I think Nizam was someone else. And yeah, there was a couple in between where it wasn't Mahesh Sharma, but predominantly it was Mahesh Sharma.
Kaleja. Yeah. And then
he hasn't done
other randoms up to.
Then he's been mix and match. Interestingly, Keeravani's never done a Mahesh Babu movie.
Well, Keeravani, after, I don't know when he switched, but after a certain period, he only does Rajamouli movies now.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, they're cousins. So, yeah.
I don't know when that point hit when he chose to not do any other movies other than Rajamouli movies.
Yeah, well, he said he was going to retire after Bahubali,
But he did RRR.
but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he's just doing Rajamouli. But he is
Well-
doing that Chiranjeevi movie, which isn't Rajamouli now.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, so Mahesh Babu is doing Rajamouli's next film,
Interesting. Wow.
and Kirani will be the composer for that one. But anyway, back to Okkadu. So I guess we can get into this is a 21-year-old movie now. We can get into our thoughts, positives and negatives. We can talk about how well it's aged. So maybe we'll start with you, Bhaskar, because I think you more recently watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't able to watch the whole thing again, but one thing I did do on the way here was I listened to the soundtrack, the music
Yeah.
label. And I remember I told you guys I'd bring the CD. So this was the CD that when I was rocking a Walkman, I actually bought this CD in 2003 when I went to the markets, and it was like, this was the craze. Everyone went to see this film, I feel, for the music. Because it's like, I still think it's Manish Sharma's greatest piece of work in his compositional history and that kind of stuff.
Other than that one song, the rest of them are really good. What's that one song? The one where they're in the car.
Sahasam?
I actually don't mind that. Like over time, I don't mind it.
It's actually
like at the time, like it comes at a very important part in the movie.
When they're doing the chase.
Yeah.
So the highway chase.
And it's kind of like a slow song. You're like, what? In the Tamil version, it's a very different song.
It's. I think we'll get into like the thematic differences, but the one thing that really got me was, you're right. The weakest song is that Sahasam Swastika.
Yeah.
But there's one line in it that I feel has inspired the name of the whole movie, and that line is like, "Ee Okkadu nee sainyame todunte chadu," which is like the theme of the whole movie. You just need one guy by your side, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And I love listening to that song when I'm like on road trips, pretending like I'm rushing somewhere. I'm just like, put that song on. It's just like, it's really cool. But the music for me was like the first exposure to the film. We would have, I don't know if you were kids, you remember on the TV, you'd see like the 15-second TV adverts or 30-second TV spots for Okkadu, but it would always be like a music bit or a bit about him punching Prakash Raj into the into the transformer.
Iconic scene. Yeah.
Iconic scene. That would sell the whole movie. You'd be like, I need to see this film now. And that's what really I got into it. It's aged surprisingly well for me. When I watched it again, I was like, there's nothing too corny or cheesy about this film. And the romance, it's purely romantic. It's like a romantic novella almost. It's not over-sexualized, which is like such a relief to watch again. Like going back to that time, they don't go exaggerate all these different emotions. It's just like a typical damsel in distress movie. Very romantic in the sense of like the way they develop the bond and affections. It's not done in a way where the guy is just like looking at her like a piece of meat, and he's actually trying to be like protective of her and give her everything. She falls for him first, and then it's like him slowly realizing, okay, I should fight for this girl. I should do it. But speaking about it as like as Mahesh Babu's breakout movie, I think it was the first time I saw Mahesh Babu in film in Okkadu. For me personally, I don't recall seeing Mahesh Babu earlier than this.
It was the first Mahesh Babu movie I saw in the theater.
Yeah.
Because you weren't there.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah.
I was in India at the time when it released.
Oh, you saw it before Shravan?
Yeah. I think you went to India
I was
time.
I was in India for my uncle's wedding, I think. I don't think you were there.
I didn't come, but you ended up watching.
I watched it in the theater. Well, I think it was like one of the first movies I ever watched in the theater in India as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had been like under 10 at that point.
I was in grade 3, so
that's wild.
So you're like 8.
Yeah. It was. I think it's the perfect movie for a kid in grade 3 as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And because it's like the main, it's one of those few stories where the main protagonist is still in school. He's playing kabaddi.
Yeah,
for his school.
Is he college? Where is he?
I don't think it's college.
It felt like he was still in high school.
I think it's just, I don't know if he's high school. Well, he never goes to school. Like, you never see him.
I don't know.
So I don't know what he does.
I don't know where he's at. Yeah.
It felt like to me, it's pretty biased.
Well, he's
at school, is it? No, he's going to he's applying to police academy, isn't he?
So I think he's after college.
After college.
Yeah. So I think he's applying for jobs.
Which we were saying college, what you're saying is after his final year of education in high school.
I think uni.
Uni?
Yeah. Because
I think she's in school, isn't she? Or is she at uni? Doesn't she get taken out of some? She gets taken out of something.
There is a scene, like there's a scene where she's walking out of a
A
uni
college
or a college.
high
Yeah,
school
yeah.
or
So I think
something, yeah.
she's in uni potentially.
Right. Interesting.
But I think because he's trying to get a job as a policeman.
Yep.
And obviously his father's trying to get him through the sports quota.
Ah, right.
Hence he supports him playing
yeah.
kabaddi.
He wants him to
Yeah.
really play kabaddi.
Yeah, and the
yeah.
kabaddi angle is very interesting as well. It's like
Yeah.
a whole theme of the movie is that he's the star champion of the kabaddi team, and it's a nice.
The kabaddi is actually done relatively well, I feel. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know how realistic it is to kabaddi.
Yeah,
I don't think it is.
So apparently
but,
Mahesh Babu never played kabaddi, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's not that surprising.
Yeah.
And he learned kabaddi he did some training for like a couple of days.
Watching the Tamil version compared to the Telugu version, I think kabaddi is more similarly played to what it is in the Telugu version. Because in the Tamil version, they're just kicking blokes and like throwing them everywhere.
And there's a guy with like a
A
blade.
blade in
Yeah.
his arm.
Yeah.
It's just cutting people. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to somehow show like
Yeah.
people being dirty with the sport.
Yeah.
But that was really interesting. The whole aspect of the film being this kind of like you never really know where it was going to go, kind of. And of course, when they go to the villain and Prakash Raj is a villain, it is brutal. They don't shy away from the violence. I mean, they don't show exactly the knife going into his chest and stuff, but the way he kills the brothers of the lead actress here and all that kind of stuff is shown quite gratuitously. I think this was the film where I realized Prakash Raj in this film is a good villain, but he's wasted his acting is wasted as a villain. He's such a good actor in everything he did after this, like as a protagonist or a side character. I was listening to your review of Okkadu, and he's in Okkadu as the CBI agent. He kills it in that role.
He's kind of like alongside the plot in that one.
Yeah,
He's not even in the main
He's
plot.
actually better in another movie that came out this year. In Tagore.
In Tagore he is quite good actually.
He's good,
He's got
yeah.
like
Yeah.
an arc in that.
And even Mahesh Babu's father in Okkadu is in Tagore as the main villain, right?
No, the Tagore main villain's that guy.
That guy, the guy,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
who's like
The guy.
the
that
glass
guy.
thing.
What's
He's
his
the,
name? Shiaji Shinde.
yeah, he's the politician in Okkadu.
Yeah,
he's the main villain.
I remember that one. Right.
That guy.
But in Indra, Mahesh Babu's father in this,
I'm thinking of Indra.
yeah.
Okay.
Mukesh Rishi is the villain.
Yes,
which
yes,
is an interesting thing because he's predominantly played villains like his whole career.
Except this is
Except
like
this is
good.
except this
Yeah.
movie.
And the guy that plays the villain in the Tamil version, the guy who plays the dad
father,
in the Tamil version, he's predominantly villains as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
He's the cop in Pokeri.
Because they
He's
do
the
a bit
cop
of
in
a
Pokeri.
they do a bit of a switch up because at the start of this movie they introduce. So firstly, the start of this movie is directly from West Side Story. So the musical cues and the whole clicking the fingers and all that's from West Side Story.
Yep.
And then they introduce Mahesh Babu with a fight. Like they introduce him with, there's like these two gangs or whatever, and they're fighting each other all the time. And then the policeman comes in, and at that point in time, you don't know that's his father. And I think they play with the fact that this actor is generally, like he doesn't play the father of a hero before this. So, and he's usually a bad guy. So they introduce him and you never expect this guy to be his dad.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, he walks into their house and he's come to like arrest him or something. And then you find out it's his dad.
That's actually really cool. That reminded me of like the Terminator 2 false setup.
Yeah.
He comes to see
switcheroo.
John Connor and he's like, you don't know he's about to kill him and he's actually trying to save him. And it's like, I love those little plays on the audience's emotions. Like, oh, what's going to happen? And especially later on, that same theme is reversed when Bhumika starts talking to the cop and saying, oh, I live here. And he's looking at that house thing. This is my house. The audience knows what's going on. But it's just nice.
Well, she's only ever been in his room in that house, right? So she wouldn't have seen any photos of his family unless, well, he might have had a photo of his family in his room. But yeah, she never saw his dad, obviously.
That's true. By the way, we're spoiling the crap out of this film. If you haven't seen it yet, it's 21 years old.
It's so
like,
old.
Yeah,
it's nearly as old as me.
It's so old. There's one part where, coming back to Prakash Raj as a villain, it's one of my favorite parts is that Prakash Raj's vocalizations as a villain still to this day make me like just laugh, roar with laughter. The part where Mahesh Babu's got, he realizes that all Prakash Raj wants, he's surrounding them with like lorries full of gondas with knives. So he puts the knife against Bhumika's neck and says, if let me go, otherwise I'll cut her. Then Prakash Raj just loses it, right? I'll do whatever you say, don't do anything. And the part where he asks everyone to put the weapons in the cloth, and then Mahesh Babu is like, he is like, all right, more to cut to. And Prakash Raj, I was like, "Mota kattu," and then Prakash Raj is like, "Right, right."
He actually does it as well.
does
He does it himself, even though he's got all these.
Yeah, he tells this guy,
surprisingly-
right.
He's surprisingly like funny, but also,
Also menacing. Yeah.
The other part
He's
I
so good.
remember is, do you know how there's that second gang and they're like helping Prakash Raj out at various spots? At one part they help him out, and then he like kisses the guy on the cheek because they helped him out,
Yes.
and then
yes.
they help him out again,
At the end. Yeah.
and then the guy's expecting him to kiss him on the cheek, and he like keeps showing him his cheek, and then he slaps him, and he's like, "Put him."
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah.
It's like the comedy in this is actually it's nice, it's light, and it's not too overhanded. I feel like one of the rewatchability aspects of this film is one, the comedy, two, the actual story, but I think the biggest one is the music, right? It's so iconic. I don't think there's a more memorable soundtrack for a Telugu film. In my personal opinion, like I was trying to think of another Telugu film that has like memorable songs. Ninne Premista was like really, really good.
Is that the one with Nagarjuna? How he
Where he loses his eyes or something.
Yeah.
And the other one I could think of was Raja with Venkatesh,
Oh yeah.
where they
That
reference
was-
that in Guntur Karam, where he's singing the songs.
They reference
They reference Okkadu as well.
They reference this movie.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
reference the Cheppave Churugali, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that Cheppave Churugali, right? When I heard that song, I was like, "There's something really familiar about this," and it felt immediately like this was composed by A.R. Rahman for a second. And the reason why is Udit Narayan sang that song,
Yeah.
and he was brought to sing that. And when you bring like a powerhouse like Udit Narayan to sing one of your songs for the movie, you know it's something special.
Well, this was an era where Mani Sharma. So pre-Mani Sharma, the Telugu film industry was always. It was basically like you'd have 6 songs, 5 of them would be sung by S.P. Balasubramaniam.
Oh yeah.
And then Mani Sharma kind of brought in a much more diverse range of singers. So not only Udit Narayan, but he has in this soundtrack. There's one with Udit Narayan. There's one with Shankar Mahadevan. There's one with Hariharan,
Mallikarjun, I think, did Sahasam. Yeah.
Mallikarjun, and there's one with a very young Karthik as well, who became
yes.
much more prominent singer afterwards.
Hi to Hi. That was him.
And
Yeah.
Balu didn't have a song in this movie, but Mani Sharma was sort of keen bringing those guys into the Telugu film industry, and then he continued to use them afterwards as well. So
It just shows the quality of this particular album. Like you can tell when you hear the soundtrack or you just watch the movie, you can feel the production value. And I know, like also listening to the female singers, Shreya Ghoshal,
yes,
doing Nuve Mai Chesave as the
she
single.
sung 2 songs. She
sang
sung the duet at the end as well.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
at that as well. Yep.
Yeah.
And
then
the Three Sisters.
Chitra was in one of the songs as well. So
Yes.
it's a very prominent, like it's a very big group of singers that he brought in.
Yep.
But the other thing about Mani Sharma is the background score, because I was watching Okkadu without the sound, and he had so much with the sound. There's the part after he punches Prakash Raj in Karnool. And there's a dialogue where, who's this guy who punched Obul Reddy in Karnool? He must not be from here. And then there's a little tune that comes, which is the Sasagat tune.
Oh, nice.
But it comes in then, and it's very iconic.
Interesting. So it's like a motif.
Yeah.
Of the character. That's really rare in like Telugu film.
Yeah.
To actually do that whole motif. It's like a very Western thing to do, like a constant theme for the character, and hint at a song that comes in later.
And then it goes into the chase after that. So the first 40 minutes of this movie, and usually this wouldn't work in most movies, it's literally set up for 40 minutes, because you have Mahesh Babu's set up for the first 20 minutes. So it's like him and his family and playing kabaddi, all that stuff. Then you have Prakash Raj's set up where he murders 2 of her brothers. And like
I love how he doesn't just murder one; he murders both of them.
Well, the first one, like they introduce him murdering the first one.
Because
it's at
that's
the train
at the
station.
train station.
Yeah. And then the second brother,
The second guy just goes to him and
gets murdered. But yeah, that's Prakash Raj's setup, and the background score for Prakash Raj. I don't know if you guys remember. It sounds like dogs barking or something. It's like this, but it's quite menacing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Actually, dogs barking, and dogs did. It's his mother that has the
has
dogs.
dogs.
the dog. Yeah. Has one dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Prakash Raj's mother. This is the one I was trying to say. So the actress's name is literally Telangana Shakuntala.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's perfect.
She's called that because obviously her actual name is just Shakuntala, but she's called Telangana Shakuntala because she always has a Telangana accent.
Right.
She doesn't in this, but usually she does.
That's amazing.
She's good. She's over the top, but she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, I mean, we'll get to Ghilli, but that character is basically not in Ghilli. They took her out.
No. Remade.
But yeah, then you got Prakash Raj set up, and then you've got Bhumika's set up as well.
Yep.
So her background, and then when they all converge, it's when Mahesh Babu goes to Kurnool. Prakash Raj is, he commits the murders. He goes and meets Bhumika, and then that night Bhumika runs away, and she ends up going back to Prakash Raj because she jumps on a truck.
Jumps on a lorry, and that lorry just happens to be the construction company that's owned by his things, and he goes back in.
Yeah.
And Mahesh Babu has gone to Kurnool for the Kabaddi Championships,
That's right. Yeah. So he's in a telephone booth, and then that's when they all converge. And from that point, there's about a 20-minute action sequence where there's a car chase, then they're like fighting in some village, and then it all converges again on the road where the sword
mortar scene comes.
That scene comes, and then they finally get away, and it goes to Hyderabad, and that's the intermission. So like, it's actually a lot of setup, but then there's about 20 minutes of just full on action, and I think that part still holds up really well.
The pacing is like really pacing. Wow.
And the initial version of this movie was actually, it would start when Mahesh Babu punches Prakash Raj, so that would be the first scene.
Oh.
So Gunasekhar wanted a non-linear screenplay, so he wanted to start with that, and then go back and do all the introductions, and then come back to the middle, and then the second half would be sort of from
resumed.
there on.
Yeah,
I think it builds up better this way.
So the writers, the dialogue writers, the Parichuri brothers, who are the dialogue writers for this film, they suggested that it should be linear.
I'm so glad it was.
So basically it's just a linear screenplay. Yeah. But the movies that Gunasekhar did 3 films in a row with Mahesh Babu. So he didn't do a movie with anyone else after this one until he did Sai Nikuru. So he did Arjun after this, and Arjun is a non-linear screenplay, if you remember that. It starts at the end of the movie.
It starts at the end and it goes back,
And then he did Sai Nikuru. So they progressively got, Arjun is worse than Okkadu, and
I think Arjun's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prakash Raj is good in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that isn't good about Okkadu is some of the action.
Yeah.
And it's very early 2000s action in Telugu movies where it goes for fucking forever, and they're just they're hitting each other. That the first the one where they're fighting on the rooftop, that action scene goes on for way too long.
Yeah, it goes a long time.
It goes on for a ridiculous
And even
amount.
the end fight scene does go on for a bit as well.
I just remember that rooftop fight scene goes through like multiple locations.
Yeah.
And like it goes for like
it starts
15
on the rooftop,
minutes.
and then they're like in some place where they're building, like there's bamboo ladders and stuff.
And then they're like, on the street in the ladder, remember?
On the street, yeah. So there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
But that was the first instance that I saw of like
green
CGI.
Screen? Yeah.
Green screen being used in Telugu films, because there's a part where he like
jumps across the
there's
roof.
that, and then he like kicks up 2 paint cans and he kicks them.
He kicks one. The paint can's done pretty well, but the part that isn't good is when the 2 guys, where he's on the ladder
and there's like
the streets below.
There's like a pole connecting 2 buildings and the ladder's balancing between them.
That looks not great. The paint can is
I think that was
it's
decent.
okay.
For the time.
Yeah.
So like in terms of because Okkadu came out
2005?
2 years after this.
2
years after this. So we recently watched that as well, and I think
the action's better in that.
From a technical perspective, like just from cinematography, because I think they used better cameras, and it was 2 years later.
Although the final action scene in Okkadu is like every action scene in this.
That also goes
right. But I think I remember from that review you did mention they overuse the bullet time sequence.
They do. They use it they use it multiple times in that
because they stretched. I think they stretched on the budget for that particular sequence.
Right.
But that ages better from a technical perspective, because cinematography-wise, that still looks very, very good. Not that this doesn't, but there's parts of this that don't age as well as that.
Yeah.
I think the storyline in this is still good.
The heart of Okkadu is in the story and that emotional impact. I don't think it was the filming of the action sequences was done
did take a
because they needed action to bridge that kind of emotional crescendo. you needed some action in it. But Okkadu was designed; it was filmed for action. Like you can tell, certain shots were like filmed with the camera designed, and the cinematography is masterful in that film. So
I think if you rewatch this, I tend to skip most of the action. I watched some of it.
Right,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
best action sequence, which is not even that long, is that part where he punches Prakash Raj in
into the Transformer,
yeah,
yeah.
which is like one punch,
Which
but
is-
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
Was that one of the first times where you had that typical cinema trope of just
the
closing in on
lightning.
on
Yeah.
the fist going like this, and it just
Oh, it's
closes
like
in,
shakes.
and it just closes in, and you just see Mahesh Babu's fist shaking.
You're shaking.
That's the first time I've seen that shot. And then after that, you know,
It's always in Prabhas
Chhatrapati.
movies.
Yeah, Prabhas movies.
Prabhas,
Every
yeah.
single Prabhas movie uses
Every
it
single,
now.
even in
Yeah.
the latest Salah, it's
Salah,
in there.
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Since Salah, it's
Yeah.
different. Oh
Yeah.
man! And then there was apparently that scene where the Mortakattu was parodied in Chennai Express.
Yeah.
By Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh, really?
They actually
yeah.
parodied that whole
Yeah.
scene from it. And I
I've
was
seen
like,
Chennai
oh.
Express. I can't remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that movie is just a parody of all
South
Indian
all South Indian. Oh gosh.
films. So
Yeah.
um,
Sorry if we brought up PTSD from Chennai Express. Some people, many Tamilians hate that film. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like it's nothing
I
to
think
do with.
moderately racist against Tamil people. So.
yes.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like the only
For me, the only real negative is that, and there's some outdated stuff like how he slaps Bhumika and stuff like that. Like that's yeah.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah.
it wouldn't work nowadays. If
Yeah.
you had that happening nowadays, it'd be
Yeah.
like instant turn off.
Yeah.
So it's like
he does that. Yeah, he does that through frustration because she's like trying to stall right at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah. Also, I think the length of this one is
I think
long.
The length is mostly due to the length of each action sequence, though.
Yeah,
Like if
there's
you
also
cut
a
them
whole.
down,
It does add value definitely at the end because there's a whole basically another act that's not in Ghilli that's in this movie where after he goes to the airport.
so
and-
I actually like that part. That's not in Ghilli. So
Yeah.
the part when he gets captured by Prakash Raj, and then Prakash Raj takes Bhumika to get
so 'cause-
married.
Yeah,
But there's a cool scene where he's gonna kill.
there's a callback to the starting sequence. Yeah.
But he takes him to jail, and there's a cool scene where he's gonna take Mahesh Babu out to kill him, and then Prakash Raj turns back and talks to Mahesh Babu's dad, and he's like, "Are you scared about what's gonna happen to your son?" And he's like, "No, I'm scared about what's gonna happen to
Yeah.
you."
nice.
And then there's
Yeah.
a callback to the first scene where like his friends converge on the gang in the first scene.
Yeah,
And then there's an identical shot where his friends again converge and he's like, well, everyone wearing white isn't a factionist. And it's actually some of his friends have infiltrated Prakash Raj's gang.
nice.
So there's some good callbacks to that, but that adds another 25 minutes to the movie.
I do like that part though.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
actually it adds a lot of
Yeah.
stakes to the film. Because otherwise, you would wrap it up easily saying, "Well, Bhumika's
And
now
I think
here," and so
yeah.
the technical progression is he's gonna win this one as well, and they're just gonna be happily ever after.
And
Yeah.
I think with the Tamil version, like when we watched it, we're like, wait, it just ended? It's like,
Yeah,
it, just
yeah.
it just ends.
So basically,
yeah.
like after the airport sequence, so Trisha actually just gets on the flight. She doesn't
Right.
come back.
Right. Oh, to the US. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, turns out she doesn't get on the flight, but she doesn't come back down. So Vijay doesn't know that she's still there.
Right.
So
he goes
she-
and plays kabaddi.
He plays the kabaddi game, and then
Yeah.
he sees her at the kabaddi game.
And then she comes to the kabaddi game, and then he plays kabaddi, and then Prakash Raj just turns up,
He turns up,
Yeah.
and then they do the fight, and then that's it.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they
wow.
cut out that middle part.
But I think
Interesting.
it's missing the part when Bhumika talks to Prakash Raj in the Telugu version, and it kind of builds up Bhumika's character a little bit.
Yeah.
But
and
I
there's
don't think
another song in the
yeah.
Telugu version.
Trisha doesn't ever
Yeah.
talk to Prakash Raj in the whole movie.
No.
Does yeah.
Nah.
pretty
The
much.
only time where she talks is where he's basically cornered her in that alleyway, and she's telling him to go away.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's very it's different. I kind of even feel like someone must have watched both versions of the film and said, "Huh, it would be interesting with Trisha and Mahesh Babu in the same film together," and therefore Okkadu.
Okkadu,
Yeah. Well, the
Like, 'cause it's
reason she was cast in Okkadu was MS Raju, the producer for this movie, he cast her in Varsham the year after.
Right.
Varsham was a big hit, and then she was cast in Okkadu.
Interesting.
So that's how she got into
Yeah.
Okkadu.
But, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't put her instead of Bhumika. Bhumika and Mahesh Babu actually had really nice chemistry.
Mm.
I reckon it worked out perfectly for
It
this
was
film.
very subtle
Yeah.
because like you said, he doesn't even know that he's in love with her until she's not there anymore.
yeah.
So like there's a part where he's like swapping her and he kicks the motorbike to and then he realizes that yeah, I've just got used to this girl riding on the bike with me.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, I wish I had someone to ride the bike with me. I like the feeling of that. It's just like until she was not there, he realized he didn't know what he had.
Yeah.
But
And then
Mahesh
you
is
just see her in the
yeah.
back as well. Like
Yeah.
she hasn't left yet, so
Mahesh Babu's decent in this as well. Like, I think it's before his period where he went super serious for a while, and then he went super jovial for a while.
super casual.
But
yeah.
he's a bit of both in this.
he
Yeah.
goes in waves because in Murari he was like
Very jovial.
very like energetic and
In this film, would you say that he's probably the most relaxed and animated in this film?
I think
as a
in
character?
like Dukuru
in
and stuff,
Dukuru,
he's
like in
yeah,
Kaleja Dukuru,
Yeah.
he gets more animated.
yeah.
And in Murari, he's a different kind of. If
Yeah.
you've seen Murari, he's like a different kind of
This
animated.
probably is most like. I would actually say he's kind of like Guntur Karam in this, or he's a bit of both. Where Guntur Karam's shit, but like
Guntur Karam is that blasé, I don't care what happens attitude. Like he's almost so apathetic about the situation. Even when his own mother disowns him, he's afraid to show how he really feels. So it's just like, who cares about this son? So it's just like, who cares? Whereas in this one, I feel like he's still in that kind of humble phase or innocent phase where he doesn't understand. He's not some ringleader. He's good at kabaddi. He knows what he's good at, but he's still a nobody when it compares to like all these factionists. And in the midst of Hyderabad, he's just a kid. Technically, he's just, in his 20s. So when I watched it, I was like, this is probably one of the more humble shows of Mahesh Babu in terms of his character. And then Atur is a complete reversal, obviously. The next time he's like a central character.
I think it could be like maybe like Porkery as well, where I think it's a bit more of a
I
progression
think
in Porkery.
is like the kind of talkative nature that he has in this movie.
Yeah.
And the assassin nature that he has in Okkadu put together,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Porkery.
And and add like an adrenaline shot of confidence.
Yeah.
He's basically the way he
Yeah.
talks to Subbu in some scenes in Pokeri, it's just like this way too confident for a double agent. To be like,
But I feel like these three are they're like
his
his
most iconic films.
Okkadu, Okkadu, and
yeah.
Porkery are. Yeah.
They came within a 3-year span. And then after Porkery, it did take him a while to, I guess it was Dukuru after that really was a big success. And then I guess after that, he's just become the same. Like he did Srimantaru.
Yeah, he's done a lot of message oriented. Well, people on Reddit call it the message verse or something. Like
I think he did like Srimantaru and then he
Bharathanenu.
Bharathanenu was amazing.
He did Maharshi,
Sakarvarpata. Like they're all like similar.
message orientated.
Sakarvarpata.
But like not in a good way, I think. Like
I think Bharathanenu and Srimantaru are pretty good.
Yeah, Bharathanenu was really good.
But the other ones,
Sakarvarpata was like the whole romantic arc was so seedy.
Yeah.
So seedy. If they had done away with the whole romantic arc, it would be a decent film. Like actually the whole moral behind Sarkarvar was really cool. Yeah. But the shit they got away with like the way he somehow gaslit the female character into him putting his leg on her is like a metaphor for like, oh, she needs him around to sleep is like
even worse is
that's really
the other one. We forgot that one. That's also the message.
You've repressed it into your deepest memories.
Actually, in that movie, they reference Okkadu a lot in that movie because it's got Kadapa in it and it's got Konda
and it's got Prakash Raj as a villain again. But it's
they do a scene in Konda Reddy Burju
with Prakash Raj
Really? Which actually, that second half of that movie is actually not bad. But the
so
first
they did
half
like
is terrible. Yeah,
they did like a Venki callback. So they did a train sequence in that movie.
Oh, really?
But it's like the worst version of a train sequence you could ever imagine. Like it's so bad. But yeah, it's anyway, we won't talk about that. But,
why ruin the Okkadu episode with that?
So but yeah, like what I wanted to get to was I guess like what you were saying about the romantic interest part. Like I think Mahesh Babu, I think he's past the phase where he needs a romantic interest in his movies now.
Oh, now,
I think he should do, and I'm hoping Rajamouli doesn't, like, in RR there was basically no love interest. So I'm hoping that he does a character-oriented movie for his next one. Because I think, like, even Guntur Karam, I was like, you don't need a love interest in this movie. And it just felt awkward as well.
You don't need much of that movie, to be fair.
Exactly. You don't need that movie.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like, watching that film with my parents was a struggle. Just because every time they showed the heroine, they had to make her like this. She was like, oh, we have to show her dancing at least once every 10 minutes.
That's just Sri Leela in every
Yeah,
movie
that's
that
just
she
She did
does.
like she was good in the what was the
That's
Yeah,
her best
that-
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Bhagwan Kesari.
Yeah.
Bhagwan Kesari is like, okay, she with amazing fight scenes. She was really good in that, and I know she's trying to make it as like a lead actress in the industry, which is great for her. But the decision to kind of make that film into this, literally, it's called Guntur Karam. Therefore, it must be masala like almost 80% of the time, like songs, item dances, and everything. And I felt like that's a struggle, especially when the story is like moving at a snail's
The
pace.
story was terrible.
There wasn't. Yeah. We've done a whole review on Guntur Karam.
Oh, sorry, go watch that episode.
Yeah. So like we've talked about all the struggles they had with the production.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
We'll
I guess we can talk about Ghilli.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghilli.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess throughout the first part of this, I sound like I was shitting on Ghilli, but I think Ghilli is a bit of a different movie. It's much more comedic, I think.
Yeah.
And it's probably like you'd watch Okkadu for a serious, more
I think it's a more subtle
grounded take, I guess.
It's almost it is an action movie, but it's almost a classy take on the action film.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously.
But I think Ghilli is a comedy. I think it's a comedy with some action in it. Yeah.
It's much more massy. So even the soundtrack, Vijay's performance, is all a bit more on the massy side, whereas
Vijay is better at comedy than Mahesh Babu in general. So
it plays to Vijay's strength. So also this came in at an important time for Vijay's career as well. So before Vijay's similar age to Mahesh Babu, so they're not in terms of like age they're similar, but in terms of experience, Vijay's done many more movies. I think he's almost done. I think his next movie is like his 70th or something. Mahesh Babu's only done 28.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think
the thing with Mahesh Babu is he takes long breaks between movies.
Vijay
and Vijay pumps
out
2 movies a year
He knocks them
consistently.
out. Yeah. So, but he was also going on a lean patch before this movie.
Right.
And this really kind of reinvigorated his career. And he was called Ilay Dalapati before this, which is young commander or something.
Wow.
But now he's just
Dalapati.
Now he's just Dalapati. But this basically made him a big star in Tamil. And then he did Porkeri after this, which was another big film for him. And interestingly, he's done a lot of remakes.
He's done a lot of remakes in general.
Yeah.
Like not only Mahesh Babu stuff, but other stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think we watched a movie once in Telugu. It was dubbed into Telugu from a Tamil movie. And halfway through, we realized it was a Telugu movie that was remade into Tamil
and
then dubbed back in. I
And it
can't
was with
remember
Vijay.
what the movie was. It had Vijay in it. Yeah. But I can't remember the Telugu
It
counterpart.
was
It was a Prabhas movie, I think. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That triggered something in Remy.
Yeah. But I can't remember.
He's trying to tell you the answer. Yeah. It's the Baki. No, it's not the Baki.
I also called my dog Dalapati Remy after Dalapati Vijay. But yeah, so this was a very important movie in Vijay's career, and I think it does play to the strengths in Vijay. So I think he is a bit more comedic. He is a better dancer as well than, although the dance in this it was nothing notable, but he is a better dancer than Mahesh Babu.
I think he's like a different kind of charismatic compared to Mahesh Babu. They've got different styles.
So
Vijay couldn't do Okkadu like Mahesh Babu did, and Mahesh Babu can't do Ghilli like Vijay did it.
Yeah. And the I guess the Tamil viewers that like Ghilli better than Okkadu, their criticism of Okkadu is that maybe Mahesh Babu is what I call subtle. I think they think it's almost like wooden, like almost no expression.
Well, I think he is pretty wooden in some of the movies that he's done.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's that wooden in this. I think he's actually better in this.
Yeah.
But in some other Mahesh Babu movies, he is so wooden. He's terrible. Yeah.
I think this is, so going back to Okkadu brief, is that this is what got him the acclaim for being that slightly nonchalant character. Like, there's that one line where she's like, what do you want to do with my chunni? And he's like, Dantona vib gokolan. Like, just those kind of slide remarks that make you want to laugh. And like, that's what made him famous. Yeah. Everyone tried to imitate him after this movie. And then he added it up more with like Okkadu and Porkeri. It just became a bit more of his style. And I think this is where he started falling into a nice, like he found his niche.
His rhythm. Yeah.
His rhythm. And then same thing with like Vijay in Ghilli. It's like, well, he just amped up his energy and made it his own role, which was really cool to see. When I was watching it first time with you, I was like, when the songs came, we're always really surprised with the energy of the
They're
songs,
much more-
like the romantic. Like the first song when he meets the heroine. In this one, it's like a very subtle Chapeve Chiragali. It's very slow, very like drum effect. In this one, it's straight into dance.
Yeah.
They just straight get into dance and start dancing to each other. And I was actually surprised. This is where Apani Podi comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very
That's,
famous.
That's where this song comes. I
famous
didn't know this was the
I think
name
if
of
you
the song, yeah.
watch either one first, you'll
You'll
be
probably-
surprised when you watch the other one. You're
Yeah.
like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like you probably prefer the first one you watch.
Yeah, depending
compared
on
to
what you watch first,
True.
I
Yeah.
guess.
But there's a very clear difference in production value when it comes to like the in some aspects of the films. Okkadu, you could tell it got like total production value for the soundtrack. The musical score was all like orchestral. They even had like a Western choir for the very first song.
Yeah, I think that's Mani Sharma's
style.
Yeah, like that's his style. Whereas Vidya Sagar, who's the music director for the Tamil version, his style is very different. He's known for doing. So before he did this movie, he did like a lot of just Marcy movies. That's his style. That's his music style. So you can see that reflected in this movie as well.
Yeah.
In terms of like, we didn't mention this, but Okkadu, they built that whole Charminar set. That's not the actual Charminar.
Oh, because they couldn't
because
film
can't
the actual
film with the
Charma.
actual Charma.
Yeah. So Gunasekhar's, he's got a bit of a trait where he builds big sets.
Yeah,
He's
which is
known for
kind of
that.
buried his career because he makes so much. He
I think he
makes really
started-
expensive movies,
Yeah.
Wow.
and then they do shit.
Yeah. So he started with this one where this is still probably his best movie. I don't think he's made a better movie than this after that, but
yeah.
he built the Charminar set in this one. In Arjun, he built that temple,
Yeah.
Madurai temple set. He built the whole set.
And
Or
then
he got it built, and
in Varudu he
he
built
built
that.
like the whole
He built that like mandapam
wedding
thing. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
in
then
Sainikudu as well, he did
yeah.
something. He built like a bridge or something in
and in that
Sainikudu.
Anushka movie, he built
Rudrama
something.
Devi,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's known as the set,
Yeah.
the
Set
guy
guy.
who builds sets.
Well,
Yeah.
full credit, because when I think of Okkadu, most of it, I think of, the two on Charminar,
Mm.
just, talking and singing, which is like, it leaves a good impression. They could have CGI'd it. It would have been really hacky.
Yeah, I think at that point in time, it would have been
It would have looked bad.
not as
Yeah.
not as
Yeah.
good.
It would
so
have looked
they
like
did.
that ladder
There are
thing.
some CGI
Yeah.
shots of the Charminar though. Like the last shot in the movie is a CGI shot where they're sitting on the Charminar.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely like Gunasekhar's career has gone really downhill after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least he had one good hit now, I guess. One
yeah.
final hurrah. That's
And he was until Trivikram, he was the only director that actually got to direct Mahesh Babu 3 times. No other director did that until Guntur Karam. But yeah, so he's got a place in Mahesh Babu's heart, obviously. And he was saying in a more recent interview that if he went up to Mahesh Babu and said he had a movie for him, then Mahesh Babu would still do it because they're good friends.
And it
I
would
don't know how
suck.
true that is, but
I guarantee it would be really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
hopes. I have hopes for a nice film. Yeah.
Yeah. The other main difference between Ghilli and Okkadu, so Okkadu is, it's again reflecting the kind of style Mahesh Babu likes to have and the rhythm that he has. He's low on dialogues. Generally, he doesn't have big dialogues in his movies, and they tend to be like the first introduction scene. There's actually no dialogues. The first dialogue in this movie is "Em zarugutundi ikkada."
Hmm.
It's what the dad says. That's the first dialogue in the movie.
Oh, after all the West Side Story
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which is probably what the audience were thinking as well. So what the hell's going on? But the Tamil version, there's dialogues from like literally the first sequence. Like Vijay has like a punch dialogue straight away. So it's much more dialogue heavy. It's much louder. And also his friend group. I guess there'd be the kind of friends maybe you'd see in Chennai, but they're very different to the friends that Mahesh Babu has.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't feel like they're kids or anything like a
They
school
look
group.
older.
They look
Yeah.
like they're middle-aged men. One of the guys is actually 40 years old. Like he looks like he's actually like an uncle. Like,
Yeah.
like he's just
Yeah.
Vijay's friend who's in there. But it also adds to the comedic parts of it where he plays this slightly more chauvinistic guy who's after all the women.
Yeah.
Every time a girl walks past, he just gets distracted, which is like, yeah, like it's a different, completely different thematic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think if you're from a Western audience, it will be like, I don't understand why they're remaking movies into different languages, but like there's a different from state to state. There's a different kind of
It's very
flavor. Like
yeah.
there's a different audience and there's a different thing they like compared to other states. So
Yeah.
stuff that Telugu audiences will like, sometimes Tamil audience won't. And
But
then
that's
the
not
reverse.
that's
Yeah.
not to say that the Tamil film industry is not capable of doing serious films. Like we saw like Aparichitrudu, which was actually Onion in Tamil.
Yeah.
Serious hell film, amazingly well done by Vikram, like as an acting, and it's very dark.
Yeah. Like,
But it's got its light chops
there's
as
some
well.
movies that obviously
They
cross over
transcend. Yeah,
and they go through borders.
Yeah.
But there is some specific stuff that Tamil audiences do like that Telugu audiences probably don't resonate with as much. And then the same goes the other way. And the same with like Hindi audiences. And so like the reason they probably remake these movies is to not just remake it shot for shot, because then they would just dub it.
Oh yeah.
But they want to add their own kind of specific state flavor into it.
Well, it shows how
Yeah.
multicultural India is. Like basically every state it's like basically another country. They're very, very distinct.
Yeah.
But I think the remake is dying now because
I think they're trying to make more kind of, there's a term they use, it's called pan-India, where they try and make a movie that basically resonates with all of India. Started with Bahubali, which is the first movie that kind of did it.
Right.
Like KGF did it as well. And then now
and then like basically any big film is now released in all languages. So like
marketed
Pushpa,
to be that,
like all the big Telugu releases, Tamil releases.
But
are
even in
now
Hindi
across
now,
everything.
like Shah Rukh Khan's Jawan was like a pan-India released in all languages. So
So dubbed. They don't do any more of these like
just
clone
dub
clone
it.
remixes.
Yeah, and like the movies themselves are becoming a bit more like they're not specific to a particular audience now. They're a bit more broader in the audience
So
they're trying to market to.
Yeah, you get movies that have stuff that would resonate with the Tamil audience and then stuff that would resonate with the Telugu audience, and they try and like mash it all together.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ends up like shit, but sometimes it's okay. I think when they try and like almost like a committee, they try and like, okay, this will be for that audience, this will be for this audience. I think it ends up just being like a clusterfuck of like terrible.
Yeah.
Like Sahur was kind of like that, where they're like, oh, we need to put the Hindi audience in, and then we need to do some stuff for the Telugu audience. It just doesn't end up being good.
I think the ones where they're just true to the story, like Bahubali. I think Bahubali is a story that it's not native to any language. I think anyone will resonate with it.
There's a feeling of familiarity, like some sort of lore we read about when we were kids. This has got that. It does borrow from a lot of the, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these like the story elements of the typical Indian mythology. So it feels like if you're European, you're watching like a Norse epic, similar kind of chops, and that's how you appeal to everyone at once. You go straight to the core of where do they source their stories and their fables from.
Instead of trying to put in stuff to appeal to a certain audience, just write a movie that will appeal to everyone.
Yeah. So you have your tropes of like the princess queen or the damsel in distress and the honorable prince who's still vulnerable. That's there, and also Salar as well, right?
Yes.
So we have some examples to go by there, and even when you come back to these kind of clone films, the only other example I can think of is Gajini. Was remade in
Hindi remake.
Remake. It was originally Tamil, right?
Originally Tamil.
Tamil.
And then there's been a lot. Like there's been a lot that have gone to Hindi in particular.
Right.
So this movie, Okkadu, was also remade in Hindi, along with, I think there was 15 languages that this movie has been remade into.
Oh, yeah, so many. Sri Lankan as well. There's a Sri Lankan version.
Exactly, Bangladesh version as well.
It's amazing.
But I think over time, what people have started to realize is that a lot of these remakes that came afterwards, so the ones that were remade, just weren't as good as the originals. Like there was some, particularly in Hindi, where it just people who hadn't watched the original and have now gone and watched the original realize that the original was actually a lot better. Like Chhatrapati, and Chhatrapati was remade in Hindi.
Oh, really?
There's been a lot of examples, like Reddy was remade in Hindi, and it pales in comparison to the original.
But I think Ghilli is probably
one of the better
ones that they made it different enough, and Vijay probably carries it more than anything to kind of make it worthwhile in terms of a remake rather than.
And also Vijay stopped doing remakes now as well. So his last few haven't been remakes.
No, nothing that I've seen recently has been a remake.
I think since Tupaki hasn't done a remake. I think
Tupaki wasn't a remake.
Well, as in since he did that movie, Tupaki wasn't a remake.
Yeah.
Since he did that movie, I don't think there's been a remake, because now his movies come out in all the languages as well.
Yeah.
full credit to Prakash Raj for agreeing to come back as a villain in the
so he
Tamil
did
version.
And I
Tamil.
think
And Canada,
he
right?
does it slightly different.
It is different.
He doesn't
Yeah.
do it exactly the same.
Yeah,
It is the same character, but he does it
There are
slightly
differences.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more comedic in the Tamil version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, like we said, he was already slightly comedic in the Telugu one, but I think he takes it a level higher. Yeah.
Interesting that they remove some elements from his character that were kind of important in the Telugu version, where he doesn't he goes and falls in the mud, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't take a bath until Bhumika comes back.
Oh yeah, that stuck in my head, that scene where he's just back at his house with his mother and he's just covered in mud and he's just not talking, like he's planning something or he's just so distraught. And I was like surprised they just kind of skipped that entire thing.
Yeah, they skipped
Ghilli.
that. Yeah. And I was watching some like Tamil people react to. They were doing comparison videos, and they felt the Telugu version was a bit cringe with that. Like they're like, "Oh, why wouldn't he have a bath?" Which is like for us, I'm like, that's kind of his character. It kind of makes sense, but maybe from a cultural perspective, that was just like weird for them, and that's why I took it out.
I think it's
just a
purely
bit
cultural.
weird.
Yeah.
Which is also why in Ghilli, immediately after like he loses Bhumika, his father Prakash Raj's father comes into the picture, and you see him like bouncing off his father and somehow like complaining to him and being more angsty and angry. And his father's trying to calm him down, and at some points he just threatens, "I'll kill you as well if you come in my way." And it's played by Tatali Barani, actually.
Yeah,
so
in
he's
the Tamil
a very
version,
famous Telugu actor, but he's playing the father in this one.
Yeah.
In the Telugu version, his father never appears, as far as I recall. It's just
Doesn't
his
have a
mother.
father.
Doesn't have a father. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a brother.
He's got a brother. And
Yeah.
his mother is the one who's like
Yeah.
the real ominous, like matriarchal. That's the Telangana Shakuntala character. And she's got the dogs ready, right? And she's smoking a cigar, like a massive
And
Cuban.
she's like eating raw chilies and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah. She just grabs chilies and
Yeah.
it's the most ominous.
She's the real
like,
Guntur Karam.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember like thinking, oh my God, Bhumika has to marry this dude and live with her as a mother-in-law. Like, that's just nightmare.
And she
material.
justifies it as well, because she's like, "Oh, my husband was like 20 years older than me, so like this."
Oh, that line persists as well. in Ghilli.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. So I think there's certain things that they played with maybe.
And the other key difference as well is they also set up Bhumika's parents a bit more in the Telugu version, where her father's actually like, he wants to kill Obul Reddy.
And in the end, he does.
And in the end, he does. So
Yes.
that's how Prakash Raj dies in the Telugu version. In the Tamil version,
we were shocked at how quickly the Tamil version ends.
Shocked
Because-
literally.
shocked.
Yeah, because he literally he gets
Electrocuted.
punched.
He gets punched, and then there's like a electrical wire or something.
Yeah, and
And,
it hits him, and he gets electrocuted
and
dies.
then he does, and then it literally says,
pans back to Vijay,
And
and he's
Trisha,
hugging Trisha,
and-
and then it says end.
and then it just got directed by.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so it was a bit abrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It finishes very quickly. Like
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like I guess the whole Ghilli is just fast track, like pace, mass, action, comedy. Always has to be something going on, I guess.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I kind of like that as well. But yeah.
Well, so they did
yeah.
something right because
Yeah.
it's re-released, as you mentioned, it's re-released in theaters, and apparently it's got like crazy,
Yeah.
like it's picked up a lot of sales in its remake.
Yeah. So originally, Okkadu made 30 crore box office.
Wow.
Ghilli made 50 in its original release, obviously unadjusted for inflation. So they've done reasonably well for that time. The re-release has made 20 crore. Ghilli's re-release. So it's almost made half of what the original release has made.
That's unreal.
In a re-release, which is crazy because Okkadu also did re-release last year. They did a 4K restoration of it and re-released it, but it didn't do as well as this.
I regret not seeing it again. 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, the copy on YouTube is not great. Is that the version you watched?
Of Ghilli?
No,
Or
of
Okkadu.
of Okkadu. Yeah, it's not as great, but I did manage to find a 4K
Yeah,
version of it.
I should
haven't
watch it in 4K.
I haven't
yeah.
watched the version we watched of Ghilli definitely wasn't 4K, so I'm waiting for the 4K version of that. But yeah, so there's differences, but I can see why. Yeah, I think you can appreciate both. I like both Mahesh Babu and Vijay, so almost
Great actors.
almost equally because I knew Vijay as the guy who did Mahesh Babu remakes. That's because I never really watched these movies until Tupaki. And then after Tupaki, I was a bit more interested in his films. And I guess he's
I think Vijay's filmography is a lot like Mahesh Babu's in a certain way, in terms of it is hit and miss at times.
hit and miss. Yeah,
And also he does a lot of message-orientated
he
films.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
And now he's moving into politics.
and
So
yeah, so it was purposefully. I don't think Mahesh Babu's. I think he's in a bit of a rut where he thinks he needs to do message-oriented movies.
yeah,
Vijay was purposely doing like
yeah,
he
to
wanted
like
to do it. Yeah,
springboard his political
Yeah.
career. But I would say more often than not, I do enjoy a Vijay movie more than I don't.
I think
Yeah.
more recently, like if a Vijay movie and a Mahesh Babu movie came out,
I would think the Vijay movie would probably be better. Like if I hadn't seen either one, and you said which one's going to be better,
or which
say
one would
the
I go to? I would like it's a big change because like 10 years ago I would be like, yeah, of course I'll go to the Mahesh Babu one, but now I'd be like, you know what, I'll probably go to the Vijay one because it's probably going to give me something different, and it's probably going to be entertaining. Whereas Mahesh Babu, last 5 years he's been doing very similar. Like I think Sarkar Party was my breaking point. I think that's when I was like, oh no, that I can't do this.
And it depends like who you go to watch the films with. If it's just like your typical guys' night out and you're all Mahesh Babu fans, you might have a different, perception. But I think if you're starting to watch it with a more mixed crowd, your girlfriend or your wife or like it's not appeal. Sometimes that it has to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
For it to be a classic hit. That's why these older films work a little bit better because the themes were kind of centrally appealing.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for that Mahesh Babu high, like that film
I think the next
crosses
one,
off.
Yeah.
I think the next one.
It hasn't. We haven't had it for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Even thinking about Okkadu might have been that one, but like probably not. Yeah.
I think the next one's going to be. I mean, I don't want to hype it up too much, but Rajamouli's on a real streak. And also, I saw Mahesh Babu recently. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah.
He looks like he looks buff. Like he actually looks buff.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The worry for me, and I don't want to jinx it, but I think they might try to appeal to too much of a wide audience and just lose everyone. I think that's what might happen here, where they're like, okay, we went to the Oscars last time. We got to hit the English audience and we got to get them. They're going to try and make an English movie and they're going to fail. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's
but
also
they should
but if
not
anyone
make an English movie, make an Indian movie and make a good Indian movie.
But in the same way, when in your Atturu review, I remember you specifically saying that Atturu was the film that you could show to your like non-Indian friends.
Yeah,
and they could find it. So I feel like if anyone,
that's an Indian movie.
Yeah.
That is like good for everyone.
Yeah.
But don't try and make an English movie. It would be if like a Western movie tried to make like a Chinese movie, I guess. Like if you got a white director and asked him to make a Hong Kong action film, like that's probably not going to translate.
Well, we did see elements of that maybe like 4 or 5 years ago where every movie did have something that would appeal to a Chinese audience, like the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
They were doing some stuff where they wanted to, because obviously China was a big market. They were making big money from China.
Yeah.
So they were doing that. But I think Rajamouli, I hope, because he always says that RRR was a Telugu film. Like he never said it was like a Hindi film or anything like that. He said it was a Telugu film.
Yep.
Right?
I think
same with Bahubali.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think he will stay true to his roots, but
I think he's definitely going to try and make it a worldwide release, which I think fair enough. Try and make it worldwide. RRR had all that success, so make it worldwide. But in its core, it should still be an Indian film.
Yeah.
And then if they do that, then hopefully it's good.
I feel like they're getting better at that. And I think part of that Western theme thing is, for example, the whole idea of sequels, right? Doing a film with the same characters, but building interest and then setting the story up so you can not waste time building up the story is a uniquely kind of Western film idea in that sense. And I remember watching Atturu, I was thinking that was released around the same time as the Bourne series, the Bourne Identity, Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne Supremacy and Bourne Ultimatum. So it's like, I can feel some inspirations coming in from these different angles. And so I would love to see more films in like Tollywood and Telugu production industries trying to look at the story elements of Western cinema, find out what succeeds. And when you look at the actual common factor, it's that they don't focus as much on like the colorful masala or romantic elements. They actually focus more on the story development, but there's still a romantic input so that it actually has some soul to the film. So like when Bahubali is a good example where it's actually, first one is a little bit over the top. Second one is perfect. The amount of balance is like 15%, 20%. to the 80% of the actual film, which is mostly story driven. So if they can do that with Mahesh Babu, who's a really good, is established as one of those people who can pull it off, I have high hopes. And I reckon if they can do it, he's redeemable. And if you're right about him buffing up and getting physically fit,
Yeah, he looks different.
I don't think I've ever seen him like muscly before.
He's always been like a kind of
lean.
Yeah. So he looks.
I don't think he'll get huge.
He won't be like
I
Prabhas.
don't think he has the ability to do that.
Is he Prabhasable?
I don't think he has the ability to get that
But
big.
he's grown his hair a bit longer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think he's like the level of buff he could get to is like, do you know, like Harrison Ford and like Indiana Jones?
Oh, right,
like he'll be like that level.
And I think that's the vibe they're going for as well. I think they want to do like an adventure film.
I heard it's Indiana Jones-esque, which would be good if they,
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for it, but I don't want like.
You know what it's called? You know what it's called? Indian Jones.
Indian Jones. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Da, da, da. Just copy everything. Just do the whole thing. I'd love to see that.
But yeah, I'm hopeful for it. But you know, you can never get too hopeful for Indian movies these days. Or it's like Marvel movies.
I
you
think
can
it's
never, you can never
true.
get too hopeful for them these days. You just gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's like what you were saying is true. But I think that masala, that is what makes us as well. That is what makes a Telugu movie or an Indian movie. So I think, you know, it's not bad to have that. You just got to deal with it.
It's got to be
right
slightly
way.
mass, but
it's got to because that is our identity. Or else, because the thing I saw with Bollywood films was they stopped becoming Bollywood. Like
they just became like English movies.
Yeah, they were just like, why would I watch this when I can just watch, you know, just a romantic comedy in English? Like there wasn't any difference. And
true.
So I think it's important to keep our identity.
Especially
as well.
that film that recently just ripped off like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
basically like a scene for scene, Xerox.
Yeah,
but about the Indian.
I think you want a bit of mass in the movie. You want it to be over the top. You want it to be kind of hyper realistic.
Yeah,
but you want it to be a good story.
Like
in the
Salah
end.
is a good example. Like a more recent example where it's a Telugu movie. There's no doubt about it. Like it's a very Telugu movie, but at the same time, it's got the world building and the story that make it appeal to wider audiences.
Yeah, and they only have 10 minutes of what's her name? Like
Shruti Haasan.
Yeah. I love that. They just show 10 minutes of it and she's gone in the rest of the film. She's irrelevant. Perfect.
Well,
because the film is about him.
Story driven.
And they didn't like force a like a song between them or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
Like because it wasn't required. So like, when it's required, like in Bahubali, there are songs with like Anushka and Prabhas. There's that song where in the ship and they're like
the whole swan ship was like a dream. It's like a dream sequence. Yeah.
Which kind of added to the movie in a way.
But anyway, Ghilli and Okkadu are good. We like them.
Oh yeah,
we like them.
Watch them. If you're up for a good time, watch them.
If you're Tamil and you haven't seen Okkadu, I think it's worth a watch. And if you're Telugu and you haven't seen Ghilli, I think it's worth a watch as well.
And interestingly, like Mahesh Babu is out of the big actors in Telugu, he's one of the few that hasn't done a pan-Indian film yet. And I thought he'd be the first one with all the remakes that his movies get.
Yeah,
his first one is going to be his next movie. Whereas Vijay's now, I think he's done, like Leo was in all languages and all that.
But
so
interesting tidbit just to like link everything together. Do you know that guy called Atlee that did Jawan?
Yeah.
His dream pairing of like a cinema hero pairing is Shah Rukh Khan, Mahesh Babu, and Vijay. All in the same movie. He directed Shah Rukh Khan in Jawan, and he's directed Vijay many times.
Movies,
and he wants to do a movie with them all, which won't end up happening because Vijay's retiring. But,
I know, but I know why he wants this. You know why? Think about geographical India, right? Shah Rukh Khan in the north, Mahesh Babu in like right in the middle, and Vijay in the south. That's just like all India, literally. Like,
everyone.
You get every sector.
They all have different vibes though, so I'd be interested to see how he'd combine them.
I don't think it would ever happen. Well, I don't think it can happen now because I think Vijay is completely retiring unless he comes back again.
I could see like two of them together. I could see like Vijay and Mahesh Babu.
Yeah.
Like doing like a
Lots of people thought
like a buddy
Vijay,
cop type
yeah.
thing.
Buddy
like,
cop or
yeah,
brothers or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember they don't.
yeah.
Lots of people
Yeah.
thought Vijay was going to show up in Jalan. They
Yeah.
thought he would definitely have a cameo, but he
Yeah.
didn't end up doing it.
Oh, that's good
Anyway,
stuff.
we should finish
I
off
think
there.
we'll wrap it up there. So we were going to go eat some
Biryani.
biryani,
yes.
Hyderabadi. Yeah.
because it's from Hyderabad. I guess we should
Hyderabad,
have
which
some
is-
sambar as well to commemorate Ghilli.
Yes.
So sambar and biryani.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But thanks, Bhaskar, for joining us for the
Oh,
first time on Paisa Vasool.
Paisa Vasool is
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. Thanks to all the people watching. This is one of my iconic films. So thanks for having me on.
We're trying to keep this one short, but there's just too much to talk about. We just love these movies too much. So hope you enjoyed our
We just end up
discussion.
always talking about random stuff in the end as well.
I think we'll end it there. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Hit us up on Instagram and TikTok on Paisa Vasool, and we'll see you in the next one.